So here we are at Lloyd's building in Eureka. This is one of the few buildings that remains, one of the few URM buildings that remains. This has suffered some severe damage because it hasn't been properly retrofitted. As you can see, you have some cracking at the base of this wall, and then you have, when you look at the window to the right, you're gonna have some one long horizontal crack, which is an indication of either out of plane motion or in plane sliding. You even have a slight movement in the x direction, horizontal movement in this direction. If you look at this corner right here, you're gonna notice that some of the brick has moved relative to the rest of it. You can see a clear line, and then you can see that the diagonal crack going all the way and meeting that horizontal crack up here. You can also see the top of this has moved. If you zoom in really, you can also see a lot of the cracking at the top corners of the buildings. You can see up here, and then you can see up here. And then you can also see some diagonal cracking if you look at these windows. And then let me try to capture this one as well. You see some diagonal cracking right here. So this building has a history where it's been retrofitted, but partially retrofitted because there wasn't enough budget. So there was tie rods placed, but these tie rods were not tied to the diaphragm. They were tied to the sometimes they were tied to the diaphragms, other times they were not. So this side here, they were tied to the diaphragms in part of the places, but in some others they were not. And then you can see the corner crack up here. You can see this one up here. So here you probably have a parapet that cracked. And then we're gonna go to the other side of the building, and then we're gonna show you what happened. So the roof of this building has a slope, and then up there at the end, where I'm going right now, there is no parapet. The roof goes all the way up, and so the tie rods that have been placed, they aren't placed with the diaphragm. They're placed into blocking beams, and they only go and tie the bottom trusses. They go a few spans back, but they never go back up to the diaphragm. And then so there's no real lateral support. And then you can look at what happened on this facade. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna zoom up, and then you're gonna see the crack that has formed right at the roof. So we should be able to see that more clearly here. So this whole face of the building separated, and unfortunately this building may be demoed in the near time. So there's other buildings that are also URM in the same area, and then I'll show you really quickly. But if you zoom in all the way to the back side, there's this one, and then there is, if you go back to this side, there's this one as well. So both of these buildings have been retrofitted entirely, and they did not show significant damage, nothing like this one, and they remain operational. Meanwhile, this one is going to be demoed, and then this one would have been a very high risk if it was occupied, and it's even a high risk now, since this area is prone to aftershocks, and then once there's an aftershock, there's a good chance that this building may collapse.